Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be showing you how to make a pet simulator. This is an updated version of the pet simulator that Scratch's official channel has made, so let's just get right into it. So let's start by adding a sprite. We're going to click on the small cat button at the bottom right corner of the page. You could search your pet or you could scroll down the Alls category. There are a lot of categories in the top. You can choose any kind of category that you want. Animals, people, fantasy, dance, music, sports, food, fashion, letters. I'm going to make the puppy as my pet. After you have loaded it into your stage, you could resize your puppy or any kind of pet that you have selected by using the Select tool in bitmap mode. Let's use the Select tool to make my puppy bigger or smaller. Now let's add a backdrop. I'm going to choose the bedroom 1 backdrop, but you can choose any backdrop that you want. You could have it in a baseball field, in a blue sky, in a castle, in a beach, in the Arctic. There are a lot of different backdrops to choose from. You could choose from the top too. Now let's add some food into our project. By clicking on the Sprites button once more, we're going to scroll down to find some food. Apple, cake, cheese puffs, any food that you want for your pet. I'm going to choose the donut. Now, this donut looks awfully big for the puppy to eat. Let's resize it by going to the Costumes tab next to the Code tab and clicking Bitmap mode. Let's use the Select tool to resize the donut. Now we can position it onto the stage. Let's add another sprite. You can choose another food item, or you could skip this step. This time I'm going to add the jam. In the sprites category, there are a lot of different categories in the top. These are subcategories that helps you find what kind of item that you're looking for. I'm going to go to the food category, but if you're trying to find another kind of sprite for your project, you can see what sprite corresponds with what category. It's pretty handy, and you can find what you need in time. I have loaded the jam onto my stage. Now I want some decoration for the room. This room does not have any toys for the dog to play with. Now, as far as I've known, dogs love playing with balls, so I'm going to add a ball. By just typing in ball, we can see what kinds of balls there are. It's kind of unusual to see people. You can choose from any of the balls that you like, or choose your own decoration. I'm going to choose the beach ball. After loading the ball onto my stage, I'm going to go ahead and position it where I want it on the stage. Let's have our dog say something. We're going to drag out a say block for 2 seconds. We can change the script inside it to say, "Hello, my name is Fluffy," or whatever you're naming your pet. If we click the code block, we can see that it says, "Hello, my name is Fluffy," for 2 seconds. Now, it would be nice if it introduced itself as soon as we started the game by clicking on the green flag. I'm going to drag out a when green flag clicked from the controls category. Nice. Now, let's have our dog go over to a food item whenever we click on it and take a bite and come back to where it was sitting. It's pretty easy to do that. First, we're going to go ahead and switch to any kind of food item. Drag out a when this sprite clicked block. Now, we want to broadcast a message to the world. We're going to broadcast any message, but I'm going to call my message, "Eat me." You know when you say something to somebody, they respond as soon as they hear it. So, this is also similar. We're going to switch back to the dog's costume, and we're going to drag out a when I receive "Eat me" block. Now we're going to code this block to what the dog does when it receives the message, "Eat me." Let's drag out a glide 1 second to X and Y coordinates. In Scratch, you can do this super simply. We're just going to put where the dog wants to be after it glides to that position, and we're going to put the corresponding X and Y values into the block. Let's connect that to the when I receive "Eat me" block. Now, I want the dog to make a eating sound when it reaches that specific food item. For this, I'm going to go into the Sounds tab and load the chomp sound from the sound library. Once we have loaded the sound, we're going to go back to the Code tab and we're going to go to the Sound category. Now we're going to drag out a Start Sound Chomp block. This is going to make the dog make a sound until it reaches that position. But we don't want the dog to stay there. We want it to come back to its original spot. We're going to do the same thing. We're going to drag the dog back to where it was before and put the corresponding X and Y coordinates inside the new glide block. Let's test it out. When you start the green flag, it would stay where it was left off before. We're going to change that later on. But now it actually works, so that's good. We want the same thing happening to the jam. We can go ahead and duplicate the broadcast message, but this time we don't want the actual eat me message to correspond to the jam because the corresponding X and Y coordinates do not match. When you click on the jam, the dog will go over to the donut instead of going over to the jam instead. To fix this, we're going to make a new message called Eat Me Too. This is going to differentiate between the Eat Me and the Eat Me Too, and that will make the dog go over to the actual place where we want it to go. We want it to go over to the jam, so we're going to have to change the coordinates again. Let's go ahead and try that out by clicking on the green flag. The dog says, "Hello, my name is Fluffy." And when we click on the donut, it goes over to the donut. And when we click on the jam, it goes over to the jam. Nice. Now, let's animate our pet. Drag out a switch costume block. 2 of them. Now, change the costumes that you want to switch it to. Let's make sure it's an animation that actually makes sense. We don't want a puppy jumping and then sitting back down because that's not what a puppy could do in less than 1 second. Okay, the puppy does it really quickly. Let's drag out a wait block in between. I'm going to make it wait 0.2 seconds. It would be nice if I got it to repeat this animation. Let's drag out a repeat loop. I'll make it repeat about 2 seconds. Okay, it repeated, but it looked a little bit glitchy. Let's add a wait block in the next costume. Let's try it out. Nice. Now, from the controls category, I'm going to go ahead and drag out when this sprite clicked, so that every time that I click this sprite, it's going to do these things. Now, I want our pet to do something super cool. I want it to ask who the player is and make it their owner. So to do that, I'm going to go ahead and use the sensing category for this. I'm going to go ahead and click on the sensing category and I'm going to drag out an ask block. I can make it ask, "What's your name?" or I can make it ask, "Who are you?" It's totally up to you. I'm going to choose, "Who are you?" I was going to write "woof," but to make it even more exciting, we're going to go to the sounds library and we're going to go ahead and choose the bark. When you type "woof," then a woof comes, but it's not the kind of woof a puppy would have. So go ahead and type in dog. Dog 2 is the perfect sound for a puppy. Now switching back to the code tab, we can go ahead and use that sound block before the ask block so that we wouldn't have to write woof. So what the Ask tab actually does is the puppy will ask you something and a text box will appear. You would have to write your answer inside it. Now, whenever the puppy asks you something, you don't want the puppy to say silent once you write your answer in. So we're going to go ahead and change that. So when I write my name and I click on the little checkbox, then the puppy doesn't actually do something, which is kind of awkward. So let's go ahead and change it. So first, I want to make the dog react to it to make it a bit more realistic. Let's add 2 of these woof sounds again. Now we're going to add a wait block in between. You know how a dog woofs 2 times instead of just once? That makes it a bit more realistic and gives the dog a bit more personality. So I'm going to make it do that. I'm just going to go ahead and connect it to the main code. Let's make it say the player's name and then say, "You're my owner now." We're going to drag out a wait block and put the answer block into the input. This means that the dog will wait until we have answered the question, not just start barking after it asks who we are. Now we're going to drag out another block. That's say for block. In here, we're going to put in answer for the first input. This is going to make the dog say the player's name for 0.9 seconds. And we're going to drag out another say block. Let's make it say, "You're my owner now." And lastly, let's add some more sounds to make it realistic. Let's go ahead and test it out. Let's add a when green flag clicked block on the top. Let's combine the before main code with the after main code. The before main code was introducing the pet and telling its name. Now we're going to do the same for the after main code, so we're going to have to delete the introducing main code. Let's have the puppy give the player instructions. To do that, we're going to drag out a say block, and we're going to write whatever we want the puppy to say. We can make it a bit more informal by writing "Hi" because the puppy now knows that we're its owner. We can go ahead and switch up the script into two parts. The puppy can even give the player instructions. Next, we want the puppy to do things that normal puppy would normally do. So we want the puppy to show us tricks. Let's do that by using the costumes. Choose combos that make sense. Adding the wait blocks in between gives the puppy some time to react. Now, let's just drag out a when any key is pressed block. We're going to go ahead and do the A key is pressed. When we click on the green flag, the puppy remains in its last costume, which it was when the player was first playing the game. we want it to reset back. We can simply do that by dragging out a when green flag clicked block followed by a switch costume to the default puppy sit block. Let's try it out! That's all I wanted to show you today. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. And you can take this off in so many different directions. You can even animate the ball if you wanted to. See you later. Bye!